That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second in command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. However,
Es ist
some
nicht so.
ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table
Es
here.
finde ich auch
But
nicht
that
angebracht.
doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can imagine how difficult it must be dealing with this ambassador.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Okay. Ja, von diesen anderen Methoden.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Was ich innerhalb der Botschaft nicht tun sollte?
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over. But I can't make any promises.
Kannst du ja Mitarbeiter
Name's
erzählen.
Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Okay.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Mitglieder von Haus Vermund sind auch Menschen.
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us, despite their cultural beliefs.
Of course. But there is another wrinkle.
Ja?
We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare. But it's been several years now since he last poked his head out.
Faktisch.
Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Schön,
I
aufgehört.
have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Frag mal, was ich
Of
werde.
course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here? I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
Ich bin auf der Night Furnace hier. Wir brauchen die Hilfe. Freestyle Collective.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Information. Eine Hilfe. Und sie überwacht das Schiff.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours and go?
Können wir ja einfach mal zu sagen, aber.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Ja, das
I'm
mir erklären.
listening.
Terramorphs
You
sind
know that for
gefährlich.
sure. That is interesting.
Die größte Lizenz, die waren werden, das könnte dein Moment sein.
Could be the hero here.
Ah, das will sehr
Well,
sogar.
Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions.
Okay.
Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make
Ne, wollen wir ja auch gar nicht. Das heißt,
you go in once. You get everything you need on your trip, and never again.
Mhm.
And
Ein
all
Einmalcode,
research
wurde
done
schon
with the
gesagt.
data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight.
Alles gut.
Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
Jo, ich denke schon.
Follow me.
Ich denke mal schon. Das klingt nur fair. Sie will halt, ne, Dings. Und genau das, was sie sagt, wollen wir auch nur. Wir wollen nichts anderes. Wir wollen nur das. Was sie sagt. Jetzt auch okay, wenn sie jetzt beobachtet, weil sie uns nicht vertraut. Wir werden uns ja mit einmal alles holen, was wir brauchen. Wie wir jetzt ja schon sagen. Beziehungsweise der andere holt sich das.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Ich bin aktiviert. Jetzt sind dann aktivieren, deswegen.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy.
Hallo? Okay.
I've never been through like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking our way.
Ja. Okay. Irgendwo muss hier durchgehen. Ja, okay. Okay. Irgendwie hier durchgehen. Ja. Hallo. Nicht durch hier. Geht's da rein? Nee, jetzt fällt zurück. Ah, so. Hier geht's durch. Da kommen wir. Hey, was willst du? Aufs Festbrett oder was? Geh weg. Ich Roboter. Ja, ich guck grad, wie ich nach oben komme. Da oben. Und da. Ach, hier ist die Treppe.
Find anything useful?
Ja, Moni. Man mit dem Roboter. Ja, aber die Stärke wäre. Das genau, das war jetzt genau so. Wir haben 4. Also mal welche Stärke haben wir jetzt? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Schon jetzt. Überschneid den auch mit dem. Ja. Ja, was ist das? Ja, schön. Ja, okay. Ich wollte schon mit dir sehen, was wir. Hm. So, okay. Ich hätte noch zwei Quatschstätte. Weiter alles klar.
Let's do this. You've got nothing.
Ja, ja, was sagen.
I must be hearing things.
Das ist hier so ein Ding, aber okay. Telefons ist die kaputt. Ja, herzlich willkommen. Okay, was? Jetzt steht auf Nackenkampf? Okay, ich auch. Gut. Hilfe und die Grundlage an den Medikament ansprechen. Bitte. Oh, das. Hey du! Ah, du bist Botschafter.
A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us.
Ah, du bist Botschafter bei Morph, hey.
Thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Ja. Botschafter, darf ich jetzt ansprechen?
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
Uns überbesteuert, gab's kaum stehen.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code.
Genau.
So, the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly?
Wir brauchen ja Schiffe, um diese Anrufe besser zu verstehen und sie zu stoppen.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement.
Ja?
For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
Ja, genau, das ist der Plan. Das ist mein Wort für Sicherheitsdaten nur gut ins
As the
Wechseln.
chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this man's integrity. He'll keep his word.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Dann überfolgen wir der Aufliste. Los bist.
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
Mhm. Danke. Den kann ich gebrauchen. Für das. Ich habe schließlich auch benutzt, um den zu dir ranzukommen. Also. Hey!
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement.
Mhm. Gefällt mir auch so, ne? Willst du Collector 13 Einsatz?
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Natürlich.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data reside in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units.
Möchte ich auch gar
Once
nicht.
you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin. Verified. Unlocking. You may proceed, Captain.
Jo. Ich möchte auch in keine andere Dings ran. Warum auch? Ich möchte ja wirklich nur die Daten haben. Sein halt Aktion. Okay, so einfach geht das. Wir haben jetzt einfach die Daten aus dieser Einheit genommen. Das ist auch die einzige, die wir ran dürfen. Das ist auch die einzige, die uns interessiert. Und ja wirklich nur der Welt helfen, diese Terrormobs zu besiegen. Ich bin ja nicht so interessiert. So einen schönen Tag noch.
Down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Hey, hier.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready.
Hier, übertreibt den Besitz der Terrormobdaten an dich.
Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Okay.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Oh.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Mhm.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Ich dachte, das dauert 10 Jahre. Es läuft rückwärts. Okay. So, was ist noch?
It
Ist
won't
das
take
noch?
long.
Läuft wieder vorwärts. Ist sie doof oder so? Was macht sie? Jetzt ist sie in diesem Raum verschwunden. Stehen wir auch immer auf dem Dach von dem Gebäude. Machen wir hier.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies?
Listen.
It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been or might become a citizen.
Okay.
Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's yours.
Okay, ich bin bereit.
Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version.
Mhm.
Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual
So
good.
machen sie.
Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
Das werde ich.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation.
We've also let
Good.
the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property.
Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position.
Okay.
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name.
Okay, wer ist er?
So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms?
Ja, ich kann das mit ins
Let's
Kabel.
hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Ja, das kann. Guck mal, am Empfang wurde mir auch gesagt, das dauert 10 Jahre. Also 10 Jahre ging ganz schön schnell.